All right, guys, welcome to iSee109.
You're at 109 right now.
Yesterday, I found this video. Oh, wait a minute. But even before I start, I think I look like Karl Marx. I'm not a Marxist. All right. Yeah, I'm rocking the Che Guevara shirt. Okay. Let me see if I can show you a little bit of Che. Yeah, I'm rocking the Che Guevara shirt, but Che Guevara was killed on October 9th. I'm not I'm more so interested in learning about people before, I assume their political views, right? I'm not a Marxist, but I think I look like Karl Marx. The hair, the beard, yeah. Well, had an interesting story the other day. Yesterday, um, I walked into a store owned and operated by Muslims. I was there. It was a bookstore. I was there only to buy a book, or at least I had never been there before, and I wanted to check it out. And once I entered, they were on me like white on rice, brother, Allahu Akbar, and so forth and so on. And they said, you are a Muslim because of the way that I look. So how do I feel about that? Like, I lived in Saudi Arabia, and my experiences there, when I was in Saudi, I felt a great demand or a need to convert to Islam, but I thought it was very cliche. And I was trying to communicate this to the man behind the counter, say, hey, this is my story. I was trying to tell him my story, and then I was interrupted, and then by one man, and then I was interrupted by another man, and the second man came over to teach me and say, look, you're Muslim. There's nothing wrong with Muslim, but see, my point is the doggone story I was trying to tell is I went to I lived in Saudi Arabia. I was teaching English for an American company among other Muslims, and there was a great, there was some pressure. It's called dawah, if I'm not mistaken, where they proselytize, where they offer you the religion. Come join us. Come join this faith. There was a lot of pressure, right? Real and perceived pressure, right? And then I traveled to Ethiopia, and Ethiopia was it for me because it was Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity. It was a different Christianity I had ever experienced and I had ever seen. It was a different expression of faith, a different practice of faith I had never seen, and I saw pictures of Afro sporting, angels on the ceiling of the church, and I thought, man, this is black, and I'm with that. I'm always for anything that's black, by the way, but it was the fact that I had been baptized in Christianity as a Christian, and I was like, I had never seen Ethiopia, I had never seen black angels, and because I was already a Christian, I was like, why change? Why do I have to change? Why do I have to accept another religion, and so forth and so on? And so along my path of education, of knowledge, and learning some things, I found that there are so many similarities, or rather that, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity all come from, are all Abrahamic faiths, right? And again, I thought, well, why should I convert or whatever? What are you talking about, man? Leave me alone. I'm good. I'm a Christian. I found Ethiopia. I'm happy. Okay? I don't have to do, you know, just just be, really. But no, the gentleman was like, "No, you're Muslim." So he gave me a Quran, and taught me some things that I didn't know. Because he basically said, "Man, forget those pictures in Ethiopia. There are pictures of black men and women in, I think he said Assyria, which I think is modern day Syria, or maybe it is Iraq. See, we don't know the history because all of this stuff is hidden. It goes so far back. But he was like, yo, man, there are black people there. Now, I know that. I know our history goes all the way back. It's black on black on black on black on black, and nobody talks about this. Excuse me, nobody talks about this. Um, we don't get taught this in our schools. But anyway, that was the experience that I had yesterday, and so the gentleman was like, "You're a Muslim," and I'm like, "But, I've been to Aksum," and then he told me something. He said, "Aksum, the Aksumites." He said Queen of Sheba was a sun worshiper. He said, so I guess he's saying that she was a pagan in that sense, because pagans were sun worshippers, from my understanding. See, this is a process of learning for me. So you're watching me as I'm learning these things. And if you've heard these things, then write a comment. Let me know. Inform me, so I can know where to look for information. Um, but anyhow, that's not the reason why I'm pulling up this video. I'm pulling up this video because I went to Spain. I was in Madrid. I lived in Madrid for 2 weeks. I was in Spain for 1 month. I lived in Spain for 1 month, 2 weeks in Granada, and then 2 weeks in Madrid. And what did I do? Was it 2 weeks in Granada? I don't know. But the point is, I traveled to Madrid, and I stayed in the. Where did I stay? No, no, no. I visited the museums, the Prado, as well as the Salvador Dali museum. And that's what I want to talk about, because I saw this video on my feed yesterday, and I was like, hey, I've been to those locations, and this guy is talking about them. So why don't I go ahead and sort of add my 2 cents? Let me add my spin on these locations. So that's what I'm doing. So this is a video by Rick Steves. This is a video by Rick Steves and his visit to the Prado. Well, this video is about his visit to museums in Spain, beginning with the Prado. I've been to the Prado. I've been to the Prado. Well, no, I went one time, but I remember passing the location a number of times. Anyhow, so Rick Steves filmed this. Who knows when? The guy's older. I'm sure he looks. This is probably a decade old video, but they've re-released it, or some parts of it. Anyhow, so he's talking about. Let's see. Symbolize Danae, Titian, Miss August. Money falling from the sky made royals. Something. The people who commissioned this art feel their wealth was blessed by God. Okay. I can't pronounce that. 500 years old. This one is a radical painting. Gives all this hedonism. Something. I'm trying to read it, but it's moving very quickly. Anyhow. So I saw this painting as well. And here's my critique of what Rick Steves is presenting. They're presenting the Prado. They're presenting European history. Look at all of these bodies. Look at all these the images of these bodies. These are white Europeans. These are white people. Oh, I think I did see a black body in the mix back there. Should I go back? All right, screw it. Let's go back for a second to see that black body. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. I saw a black body right there. Okay, there is a black body in this. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. But here's my point, and here's my critique. All right. In this video, and of all of the works that are presented, what happened? Oh, okay. A video of mine. I've got so many things going on. Okay. My critique is there weren't many black bodies. There weren't many black people in the paintings at the Prado. It's Madrid. Spain was colonized by the Moors, and um, there's absolutely evidence of the Moors having, you know, ruled Spain, and there are remnants of it. But see, all of these paintings and everything that Rick Steves is pointing at and talking about, or in this particular video, doesn't mention the black presence, the African presence, in particular African. At the Prado, they have the Ethiopian sculpture. I believe either two or three busts. I remember seeing them. I saw them there, and then they had an obelisk. I believe it was an obelisk made of gold, a small but still an obelisk or a stele. These are African things, right? These are African artifacts, African, remnants. And if it's African, then like give it some respect. Put some respect on it. I had to walk all the way through the galleries. I had to go, I believe, down into a basement in order to find the obelisk. And I had to, I don't know, climb stairs and find, the two busts of the Ethiopians, as they're called. I had to do a lot of work to find them, and I would say that out of the 200 works or more that they had, fewer than 10 works represented, black or brown people. Maybe this is one of them here. The black man, the brown man has his hands up and he's preparing to be shot. Sad stuff, man. So that's my gripe. All right, that's why I'm making this video, because I was like, man, it sucks, dude, because this there aren't any representations of any black people. All right, I did not go to the Santa Cruz Museum, so we're gonna fast forward a little bit here, and then we're gonna get into the next museum, Salvador Dali Museum. I visited this museum. Yep, I was there. Looks like Abraham Lincoln over there. He's gonna show you that again, but anyway. So here's the story about me visiting the Salvador Dali Museum. I woke up a little late the day that of the tour. I had already paid for it, and did I wake up late? Man, this is revisionist garbage. I didn't wake up. No, I remember. I woke up and I asked my Airbnb host. I was gonna give them some extra money to drive me to the location of the tour. So I was like, hey, um, if you take me to the tour, pickup spot, I'll give you some extra money. I think they were just being kind, and they were like, you know what, don't even worry about that. We'll just drop you off. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool of you guys and all. I'm gonna stop the video for a second or pause it while I tell this story. So I was glad to get a free ride. That was great. But the driver on the day of was late, and he was so late, and there was traffic in Barcelona. I was in Barcelona at this point. I had already been to Granada. I had already been to Madrid, and then I was in Barcelona, right? So this time what is that? The Airbnb, he was a friend of the Airbnb host family that I was staying with. He was late, but I couldn't argue with the guy, and I was just hoping that he could get me there on time, which is why I didn't get another taxi or another Uber or something and say, "Oh, I can't risk this," because actually the guy was, on his way there. It was a whole kerfuffle, and I was just like, you know what? I've got to stick with this family, right? So the guy was on his way to pick me up, and so I was like, let's go. So he picks me up late, and I missed the tour. Like, I call the tour company, and I'm like, I'm on my way. Can you wait for me just a few more minutes? Just a few more minutes. It probably turned out to be like 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes that I was late. And they were like, we run a tight ship and no, you're not on time. So everyone wanted to leave. This is what I learned later, that there was an older woman on the bus and she was just like, leave them. She was a nice old lady. Nice enough, I guess, but she was, you know what I want to call her for taking that position. She was just like, I paid for this tour and I'm on time. If you're not on time, then we're out of here. Okay. So I'm in Madrid. I'm late to the tour. I'm pissed that they left me, even though I had been calling them and letting them know I'm 5 minutes away, or I'm 10 minutes away, I'm 5 minutes away, or whatever. And they're like, okay, whatever, and then everyone's gone. So when I arrive and I tell them I already paid for the tour or whatever, they said, okay, well, you're basically you're out of luck. I said, but I must go on this tour because I wasn't gonna stay that long in Barcelona. I had like 48 hours in Barcelona, and I'm like, I'm not missing this tour. Now, the reason why it was so important to me is because my dad's favorite artist, at least so I believed, is Salvador Dali because my dad has um, Salvador Dali paintings, reproductions at home in his home on the walls, a number of them, right? And I think at one time he did tell me that Dolly was his favorite artist and whatnot. So I was like, man, I've got to have this experience for my dad. And plus, I would buy some souvenirs or whatever, bring it back to my dad and share it with him or whatever. So I wasn't missing this. I wasn't missing this tour, no matter what. Even though the tour left me, I asked the tour guide, "What can I do?" And the guy's like, "Well, you could take a taxi to the location, meet up with the tour, and take it from there. And the tour bus driver will bring you back here, but you've got to take a taxi to get there, right? Or you could just reschedule or all this other type of stuff." I didn't have the time to reschedule, so taking the taxi there was the best option. The thing about the taxi is it was going to be expensive because it was a long hour long drive, hour plus, drive. And that drive cost me about 200 some odd dollars. I kind of want to say $250, but I don't remember. This was in 2018. But I wasn't missing the experience, so I called up an Uber and I'm like, "We're going all the way out to Cadaqués from Barcelona and you're driving me." And he's like, "That's a long way." I said, "Yeah, let's go. I'll pay." And he's like, "Okay." And so he got me there. Now the messed up thing is when I arrived at Salvador Dali Museum, the tour group had not arrived yet. Like there was this idea that at some point, oh, they gave me the number of the bus driver so I could inform him like, "Hey, I'm on my way" or whatever. There might have been an opportunity, like the bus might have had a little pit stop on the way from Barcelona city center um, to Cadaqués, where we could have met there, and then I could have hopped on the bus there and then gone. It would have been a shorter distance. I wouldn't have had to pay 200 and whatever some odd dollars to get all the way to Cadaqués. You dig? But no, I paid for the ride from city center all the way to Cadaqués, and I got there before the bus arrived. I got there only a few minutes before the bus arrived because once I hopped out of the car and I looked around, they were pulling up or stepping out of the bus. So it was a very small small amount of time. But I certainly was like, they haven't arrived yet. What the heck, man? But it was all good because once we met up and I told them, "Hey, I'm on this tour, yada yada yada," they were like, "Oh, you're the guy." And everyone on the bus was like, "Hey, you're the guy. What happened there?" And I'm just like trying to explain my story. And the lady who told the bus driver, "Hey, get out of here, take off." She told me, she was like, "Yeah, I told him, get out of here. We're going to leave you." And I was like, this lady here. But she was kind of a sweet old lady, and she just had her rules, and it was about her. It's just like whatever. So that's my story about getting to the Salvador Dali Museum, and then after the tour and stuff, then I had a light meal with that lady, that older lady, and her friend. I have a picture of them too. I'll post them. Yeah. So all right. So anyway, got into the museum, saw the Salvador Dali stuff. And what happened when I got there and when I saw the artwork of Salvador Dali, what I basically realized is that yes, Dali was a surrealist, but his paintings are so intense, are so like okay, here's an example here. Here's the thing. His artwork is so dynamic that um you can't just look at it on a two-dimensional surface. For instance, um, you have to look at it through as a reflection. You have to look at it. You have to use mirrors in order to see the image that he created on paper. Um, there are some funny things that they do with the images, and I think he had a kind of a mirrored um, a bottle. There's a bottle, and the bottle is made out of some reflective material. I don't know if it's aluminum or what, but if you sit the bottle down and put Salvador Dali's painting in front of the bottle, the distortion caused by the curvature of the bottle, and as it is a reflective surface, if you look at the painting from the viewpoint of the reflection on the bottle, you get a very different image than what you see on the two-dimensional piece of paper. It is a bizarre experience, and it really makes you want to see more of his artwork in the manner which it was designed, or it could potentially be viewed, because it can't be his artwork wasn't meant for you to just look at on a two-dimensional surface, and that part about it is just bizarre. But you get the sense, excuse me, you get the sense by looking at his artwork in books that, oh, these are two-dimensional works of art, when they're not. Excuse me. For instance, look at this here. This is Abraham Lincoln's face. Now on the video screen, it doesn't really give you the impression that it is Abraham Lincoln. You can kind of see it, but when you're there, it really looks like Abraham Lincoln. You can really make it out. But then what they're showing you at the same time right now on this video is that you can see a woman's body, you know, inside basically the face of Abraham Lincoln. So he's got all of these images, playing on other images. And that image of that woman is his Russian wife, Gala. Yep. So yeah, Rick Steves is older now, so this is just some old stuff that they're just recycling. Those lips, yeah, I have those lips. I have the little thingamajig for those lips. Yep. I better go get those lips. Let me put it. All right, go back here. All right, hold up. I'm gonna go get those lips and be right back. All right. So as I said, here are the lips. These are the lips. Yep, there they are. And here they are in my hands, the lips. And that's supposed to, this is some thick lips. Goodness gracious. I'm not going to put them on my lips. No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, these are supposed to be Mae West lips. Man, not mine. I said I wasn't gonna do it, and I did it anyway. Well, whatever. Yeah, so I was there. Oh, this is the part, catechaz. This is the thing that I'm gonna show you. I have pictures in catechaz, like that water right there. I got in that water. I went swimming there. I have a picture like of that beach right there and the people on it. That's what I'm saying, man. I was there. I was there and I swam in that water. I bought, I think, a pair of shorts, and then I just took my shirts off, took my shirt off. I was like, I'm just living life, y'all. And I got in that water. Yep, we went to the to Dali's home. Very funky, weird, eclectic, eccentric, wild. Yep, I saw that. Okay, there you go. See the image in the back there? See this right here? All right. So I believe this is a mirror right here. And this is a painting on this side, and then this is a painting here. And you put the mirror in between, and you put your head in the center here, and you look at the mirror, and then like something happens. The image is combined. The image then becomes one whole. It's something funky, and that's kind of how you have to see Salvador Dali's work. I think they're making a movie about Dali and his life and stuff. And yeah. Yep, I was there. I saw all of that. Saw that. Made sure that the window was open to allow the light in every morning. So they woke up. Oh, that egg. I remember that egg. I took a picture inside that egg. Yep, is that it? All right, and then he goes to the Picasso Museum, which I haven't been to. So I have some other videos. No, not videos. I have some photographs from my travels to Salvador Dali's museum. I'm doing a lot of things over here, so please forgive me if I seem scatterbrained or what have you. But the point of this video was to show you, or to show you Rick Steves' video, and just like critique it. Like, yo, Rick Steves doesn't present any black, stuff really. And it's a shame, because there's plenty of African history, black history in Spain, especially at the Prado, where there should be. Like, he could have mentioned the Ethiopian sculptures, but he didn't. So that's my pet peeve. But then the other thing is that even at the Prado, they didn't have many African representations, which is, again, like, you really have to, you have to be aware of what you're seeing. Like, don't let them show you, and don't let them tell you that this is all that there is, when there's so much more. Same thing as at the Getty Museum here in Los Angeles. There aren't many representations of Africans. Well, excuse me. At the Getty Museum, there were very few African representations, and for a Christian, for an exhibit about Christianity, to exclude Ethiopia and Eritrea is just like, that in and of itself is blasphemous. You can't do that. So that's at the Getty Center. But then at the Getty Villa, to the credit of the Getty, Foundation and whatnot, they certainly did have the Nubian exhibit, which is like, now that's black. It doesn't get any blacker than Nubia, right? So that's cool. But this Rick Steves and his stuff, nah, he's not. Yeah, he's not. Yeah. Listen to what he says. Take it with a grain of salt. You dig? And check out the rest of my images from my trip to the Salvador Dali Museum. And they're making a movie about Dali's life too. So that's my video. That's my stuff.
You're at 109 right now.
Peace and blessings.